is Tarik Talk. Your host, Tarik Mendes, takes you on a journey with guests from all around the world. Broadcasting around the world. Around the world. This is Tarik Talk.
Guys, today I'm here with Keilley. Keilley, how are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
Awesome. Thank you for being on the podcast today. Do you mind sharing your Instagram with us?
Yeah, it is just my first and last government name. It's Keilley, Keilley Banks. Keilley Banks.
Love that. Everybody go check her out. Follow. She has amazing work. Do you want to start off by telling us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, so I'm originally from New Jersey.
Okay.
But I moved around quite a bit, and I think that's definitely influenced my work a lot. I mean, it's kind of just been up and down the East Coast, but it was at very young ages, so I think that definitely influenced the way that I see the world and the way that I meet people. And yeah, so I've been living in Brooklyn for about 3 years now.
Oh, wow.
I officially became like a full-time artist, whatever that means.
Oh, congrats.
About a year ago, after working in finance for 3 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I kind of just like had a big life change. I just had an epiphany, and I was like, this is not me anymore. I'm someone else.
Yeah.
And then I just kind of started doing art for real.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
Yeah. And it took about a year for me to like get my head wrapped around the fact that this was like my new reality.
Yeah.
And now I am an art director at a gallery in Brooklyn called Brooklyn
Art Cave.
Cool.
And then do you want to tell us like how is your creative process? Like how do ideas come to you?
Yeah, so I think that ideas come to me definitely through people and my relationships with people.
Yeah.
And I try to surround myself with both people, but also like in spaces that, you know, really inspire me and represent like my community and, you know, the people that I paint. All of my work is like Black portraiture and also queer portraiture. So I try to spend most of my time in those spaces, just being inspired by like the relationships that people form, the relationship they form with me, with each other. And I'm a really observant person. I like to talk to people, and I like to, you know,
what
be
sign
on,
are you?
But I'm a Libra.
Oh, you're a Libra?
I'm a Libra.
Cool.
Yeah, I like to be out and talking to people, but I'm also an observer, and so I spend a lot of time like by myself. And I go out to cafes or I go to spaces, and I just like go to meet people and just observe and just like take a part of my community, you know, be a part of it, and then create my work that represents it.
And then I noticed like your paintings are very detailed, very colorful. When you get to the studio, like what's your process like? Are you able to get to work right away, or do you kind of like to like meditate, have a coffee, get the vibes, and then get to work?
Yeah, so I have kind of a weird process. I do something called like I just call it like an all day paint, or it's just like a very long painting session.
Oh, wow.
Aside from like my new collection that I'm working on, because it is something that is just taking a lot longer. It's more detailed than the rest of my work has ever been. But before, all of my work is kind of based off of what I'm feeling and what I'm sensing in my world. And so like I'll be feeling something, and then like I'll see a reference image, or I'll see like a person on the street, and I'll like ask to take their photo or something.
Oh wow, that's so cool.
And it's just like, or like a look on someone's face, and like I'm feeling exactly like that.
Yeah.
And then so I'll like be inspired by that, and then I will essentially like take the reference image, you know, or however I want to do it, trace out what I want on the canvas, and then I will sit there until it is done.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and so it always starts with a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
Out of one of my mugs, which are available online.
Ooh, nice plug-in, yes. Do you want to share your website?
Yeah, it's colorsbykb.bigcartel.com.
Nice.
All my stuff is for sale on there. Lots of merch and things. But yeah, every morning and every paint session, I always start up with a cup of coffee, and I drink it out of a mug. I start off every painting session with a cup of coffee, and then I just sit down in the most comfortable outfit that I can put on, and I just start, and I just keep going all night. And so sometimes, like, when I get inspired, it could be 11 p.m.
Oh, wow.
Which is also why it's a little hard to have a regular 9 to 5 job.
Especially work in finance and be creative. That's crazy. Yeah.
Sometimes when this process starts, it's like 11 p.m. So I just have to, I get the idea and I have to do it then. Because I don't think that it always comes at the right time, you know, and I can't really depend on the fact that I'm going to feel creative. Like first thing when I wake up in the morning, I have a life, you know, I have bills to pay, I have other things to do and focus on. Although I am a full-time artist, like art is also a business. So, you know, I have to spend a lot of my time like answering emails and writing pitches for myself and stuff like that. So it's not always a super creative thing being an artist. But when it does happen, you have to jump on it. And sometimes that's from the hours of 11 p.m. to 6 a.m.
Oh, wow. And you're able to like paint through and... Yeah. That's amazing. That's another talent right there.
Strong cup of coffee.
Wow.
Strong cup of coffee.
That sounds like 5 espressos to me. And lots of loud music.
Exactly.
And then how do you keep track of your ideas? Like when you get inspired, do you jot down something very... I just met you, but I'm taking a lucky guess. You seem to have like a photogenic memory, like a... You can take like, you know, photo memory. I'm kind of like that too, but the way you're talking about observing, I do that sometimes with my memory. But do you like write down ideas and stuff like that?
Yeah, so I think that like typically, like you're right. Like I do kind of have a photographic memory when I see like, especially like I said earlier about like seeing the expressions on people's faces. That's really like something that does it for me, especially on the train. Like, so being in New York in general is like a huge
I feel like people on the train are their most authentic self because whatever they're going through, you see right on their face.
Exactly.
And we think we're safe because we're in front of the strangers. We'll never see people, but you know what I mean?
No, like I'm watching. like guaranteed I'm looking at you on the train. Because I'm observing your life and I want to paint about it. But yeah, so I do kind of have like a photographic memory in a way, just like memorizing the looks on people's faces. And I think that helps me create the emotion in the paintings, but also like I also like write poetry and I write my notes a lot. Like I'm constantly like I wanted to be a writer when I grew up, so I also write a lot, and so like a lot of these things kind of move together, and like it's like I'll paint about an overall feeling. Like the work I'm doing right now, it's called Lend Me a Hand, the piece that I'm working on here at this gallery opening. And it's essentially about like this has been the hardest time as an artist in my life. I've never experienced challenges like I am right now, to be honest with you. And but I've just learned that I've always been such an independent person, but I've learned that like you really do, like sometimes you need someone to lend you a hand, and like you need
the village, as they say.
You need the village. Like you cannot do this alone, like at all. Like in New York City, generally as a person.
What do you mean, like if you don't mind sharing, like if you don't mind elaborating? What do you mean, like it has been the hardest? Like you mean like creatively or?
I would say it's not even creatively,
like but the business side
of it, and just kind of figuring out like how to be an artist in New York City, like and like afford my apartment, and like also like. I think that a lot of the part of being an artist in today's society is also like staying on social media and like making sure you're out at events, making connections and all of these things, and like keeping track of that has just been challenging for me. I think like networking's always been like pretty easy for me generally, but I think in this space having to be so on, it takes away from my creativity a lot, and so like I've just been trying to balance all of it. And then like all of the like natural being in your 20s mental health things, all of that at once, and then
and life on top of that,
and like going from like such a like low-key like highbrow job to like now being
creatively
an
free,
artist, creatively free, but also like an artist in New York. The budget's different now, and dealing with the realities of that. Has been a challenge for sure, and also like being able to take opportunities. Like there's opportunities that I've gotten that I haven't been able to pursue because not being able to afford it and things like that. So just like trying to figure out how to do this for real successfully. But it's coming together. It's working.
I love that. Thank you for sharing that. It was beautiful and definitely motivation for a lot of people listening. And is there anything that you like want to do in the future in terms of like mediums or projects, whether it's like large sculptures or pottery, clay, or anything like that?
Yeah, so two things. So I think that medium-wise, I'm really obsessed with spray paint right now. I'm actually spray painting something for the first time tomorrow for an event, which is going to be fun. I'm working with another artist on like a fashion week project.
Oh, that's so cool.
That he's doing. It's going to be awesome. But I'm spray painting for the first time. So I want to like get more into that. Like I low-key want to tag stuff.
Oh, cool.
Like I feel like it's just like I'm really into street art right now, and some of my favorite artists that do street art are here at this event tonight, and just like I'm so inspired by all of them, and like I think that you know, I have so much art in my apartment, but like I want it on the street. Like I want to see it everywhere, and I would love to do a mural, but until then, you know, like I would like to do an outside mural, but until then, you know,
that's so cool.
Might have to see some spray paint, you know, and see how that works. But then also like next for me, like I really want to like take my work internationally. So I got into a residency program in France.
Oh, congratulations. When is that happening?
Thank you. It should be at the end of November. I'm in the fundraising process of trying to get myself
Is
there.
it this year?
Yes.
Oh my God,
congratulations.
So
it's coming up. Thank you. Thank you.
What part of France?
It's like the south of France.
Oh, the best part of France.
No, exactly. I'm so excited about it. It's going to be like I love the hustle bustle of the city. I love how inspired I am being here, but like
nothing beats just like unplugging yourself for a little bit and then coming back, right?
Yes, like I just need, it's gonna be for a whole month. I just need to go there and just like make art. Like that's the goal. I just want to like go there. I have so much in my mind. I have so much I need to create, but literally no time to do it. I'm out here like hustling, so you know, I just need the time away, and so I'm really excited about it, and like for what work will come out of that.
That's so cool. And now that you're creatively free, do you ever find yourself when you're doing something creative, like do you ever have flashbacks of your like 9 to 5 strict finance job, and then you come right back to reality, like, oh, thank God I'm not there anymore?
No, literally, like it's funny, like because I feel like I was a whole different person back then. Like I literally feel like I had an entirely different personality. Like I just was not myself at all, you know. And I'm just generally free as a person more now, and it's like funny because you would think that like when I'm in the happiest times, where that's when I'm most grateful that I've changed my life. But it's like even when I'm in the hard artist parts is when I'm like, oh my gosh, like I can't believe I'm having this problem, but I'm like, but I could always be having the problems I used to have.
Yeah, which is way worse, right?
Yeah, which is like, that was just bad for me on like an emotional, spiritual level. Like that was like a bad sitch for me. Yeah. And like, I'd rather have these like little problems that I'm having now. They're not little, but they're just like, you know, like a little bit of money, a little bit of,
it's like spontaneous problem.
It's just like not like a holistic like my heart hurts problem. You know, like I'd rather have these current problems than those problems. Like I'm so grateful that I've done this with my life.
No, because I have friends in finance, and I always tell them like, you during the weekday at work is so different from like when I see you on the weekend, or like when we go on vacation together. It's like two different people.
No, seriously.
You know, it's like the amount of stress. It's like it's like, dude, you're gonna have a heart attack, God forbid, you know, knock on wood. But it's like, it's crazy.
It felt that way.
All of you, like, it takes your soul almost.
No, you know? It's like, and like, why was I like 23 years old handling $1 billion deals like for mergers? I'm like, that's insane. Yeah. Like I'm stressed out. Like
it's like the pressure. Yeah.
Like when like we're low-key supposed to be like in the forest, like experiencing life and making art and having a good time. Like no, like, but I do think there just needs to be like, I'm just a more creative person. I need to be doing this. I can't be doing anything else.
And what advice do you have for like young creatives that are like stuck in that position where, because I get this a lot, like young kids or like young artists asking like, oh, how do I take that step? I don't have the confidence. Like, what can I do? I want to be an artist, but I don't know how to. Like, what advice would you give them to like take that first step, like to like follow their dream, follow their heart?
I think that I would tell them to get involved in the community. I think that like, you know, I went to my first art show ever. You know, maybe 2 years ago now, and I showed my work at it. But also before that, I had never been to an art show. I was like nervous about it. I didn't know any other artists or anything, so I was coming into it like brand new. And I went to the show. I met so many people, and like I will tell you, like without those people that I met at my very first show, like I still work with those people today.
Nice, wow.
Like I still like they've given me like amazing opportunities, like and vice versa. Like it's been incredible, but I would say like meet people. Like for artists, like you can be an amazing artist, but also if you're just an amazing artist in your apartment, like that's cool. But like, you know, if you want to,
now what?
but like if you want to like you pursue this like for real, you need to be out there like meeting people and like being inspired by other people and figuring out how it works. And because also there's so many different ways that you could make a career out of this besides just doing paintings. You know, like you can work with the school system, like you can do murals for them, you can be an art teacher, like you can like run art programs, like you can do all of these different things with it. And so you don't know until you start asking. And so just like networking, kind of like any other industry, to be honest. I mean, I think that's why I ended up being like, I don't be like I'm successful, but like I ended up being like moving more quickly in the art world than I think I would have if I didn't have like the networking business background that I have. But it kind of all is about that. I've learned it all works together.
Well, that's amazing advice. And let's do like a time machine kind of, right? So November, when you're done with the residency, you can listen to this podcast episode and look back. What's something that you want to take away from this residency that you hope to accomplish? Not only artistically, but like spiritually and everything else.
I think that like I'm ready to be like comfortable being in quietness. You know, I think I'm really looking forward to it being quiet. And I think that there's so many feelings that I have and so many things that I want to represent in my work, but I just haven't had the space, like mentally or like physically or whatever, to do it, or the time. And so I'm just like, I can't wait until I have this experience where I just have nothing but time, you know, and nothing but like the emotional space to like really say what I have to say. Because I have a lot to say.
No, you seem like such an interesting person.
Thank you. Yeah, I just really want to make art that is like beautiful and is for like people, is like for my community, and then hopefully the goal is when I get back to have another solo show that is just of my work that I made in France. So that's the goal.
That's dope. Well, it's been a pleasure meeting you. Thank you so much for being on the podcast. If you don't mind, can you share your Instagram and your website where we can get some mugs and some cool stuff too?
Yeah, of course. So my Instagram is my name. It's Keilley Banks. So KeilleyBanks. And my website, where you can get mugs and lighters and bookmarks and all my other merch, is colorsbykb.bigcartel.com.
Perfect. Thank you again, and hopefully we see each other in France.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hope you had an amazing residency. Thank you again.
Thank you for listening to Tarik Talk. Follow Tarik Talk on all social media channels and check out the video interviews online.